Okay, so I know that you're all seated and nice and comfortable down on your mat, but we were going to come up to stand. So pointing your toes forwards as you step your feet out nice and wide. Okay, and just placing the hands down by the side of the legs. And with a little rotation from the shoulders, roll the shoulders back, opening the palms of the hands, and expand and open through your chest. When you open your chest, tuck your tailbone under, draw in from the lower belly, so your abdominals, your Uddiyana Bandha, your energy lock is active, contracted. With your eyes closed, pressing down through the soles of the feet, and start to activate and lift up through your knees, through your thighs, and feeling the energy grow and lift and extend up and out through the crown of the head. So take it all in through your inhalation, feeling that expansion and that sense of opening in the heart center. And as you exhale, draw the lower belly in to continue to lengthen and to support your lumbar spine. With the breath, open the palms of the hands, floating the arms. Breathing in, continue to grow, maybe lift and lengthen, lifting the gaze up, lengthen through your arms and through your waist. And breathing out as you circle your arms, hinging from your hips. You can either keep your arms out by your side or place your hands on your hip bones. So ensuring that the movement is initiated from the hips and the pelvis. Taking the head all the way down, tucking your chin into the chest. Or your arms are out here. Press down through the feet with the option to bend the knees. Activate through the quadriceps as you lift all the way up. Scoop your tailbone under, aligning the spine and continue to lift. Extend your arms. Maybe add a couple of extra breaths here. And as you exhale, open your arms out to the side or hands on your hips. Feeling the movement from your hip joints, tilting the pelvis, feeling that length and extension through the back of the legs. You can either keep your arms out on your hips or place your hands onto the ground. Lifting the head up, lifting the chest, press down through the feet and continue to lift, to stand, scoop your tailbone under. Continue to grow, reaching up and lengthen one more time. Exhale, circle the arms, hinging from your hips. Slowly fold forwards and all the way down. Tucking your chin to the chest to lengthen to free the neck with the option to bend the knees at any time. Inhale, lifting the head, lifting the chest, and continue to lift all the way out. Start to strengthen, to energize, to warm up the body. Lifting the arms, lifting the gaze. And as you exhale, connect the palms of the hands together and lower your hands in front of the heart, turning your toes out. So your toes are now pointing towards the corners of the mat. Make sure that the feet are apart nice and wide, so definitely wider than hip width. Bending the knees and slowly lower down into your goddess. Press your knees and your thighs back as you continue to scoop your tailbone under. Your hips are pressing forwards as you open up into the hips. Keep the shoulders rolling back, take it down as low as possible. Okay, into a 90-degree angle, bend of the knees. And then as you press into the feet, lifting up halfway, so keeping the bend of the knees. Tuck the tailbone, press the knees back, shoulders back, exhale as you draw the lower belly in. Press into the soles of the feet, breathing in, halfway up, breathing out, keeping the shoulders directly up above the hip bones, the pelvis, slowly lower. Press into the soles of the feet, inhale, lift, and exhale down. One more time, breathing in, press the knees back, open up into the hips, and exhale, bend the knees, take it down. Continue all the way down, releasing the fingertips, pivot on the heels as you point your toes forward, lifting up onto the fingertips, inhale. Exhale, slowly fold forwards and down again, releasing the head and the neck as you tuck your chin up into your chest. Lengthen and extend through the vertebra of the neck. And gently rocking your hips side to side. With the option to slide the feet a little bit wider apart. Okay, the wider the feet, the easier the movement in your hip joints. Okay, if you feel a little blocked and stiff in the hips, then bend one knee and then extend the other. So just moving also with the help of the knees. Okay, taking another deep breath. And as you lift up onto your fingertips, turn your right toes out. So you're pivoting on the right heel. Lift the left heel, so coming into your lunge position so that all 10 toes are pointing towards the right side of the mat, or perhaps your short end. Okay, pressing down through the palm of the left hand and lifting your right arm up for your twist. If you find that it's a little bit too much for this morning's practice, then you can always lower the left knee, which encourages the hip flexor to lengthen a little bit more. So up to you, knee down or knee lifting. Extend and reach up and out through your right fingertips. Draw the right shoulder blade down towards the spine as you open and expand across your chest. Listening to the breath, breathing in as you lift up, and then breathing out as you roll the shoulder back, draw the lower belly in. Inhale, lifting the right arm up and down, placing the hand down to the inside of your right foot, lower the left knee down to the ground. As you turn your right toes out, roll onto the outer edge of the foot, open up that right hip, moving your inner right thigh away from the body. Hold it here, or you can slide the left leg further back, walking your hands back with you, and perhaps coming down onto your forearms if you have this mobility in your hip joint. And then gently rocking from one side to the other, nice and long through the neck. And just listening to the breath, breathing in slowly through the nose and breathing out slowly through the nose or the mouth. Really gentle that are synchronized with the slower rhythm of the breath, soothing, calming the nervous system, reducing any stress reaction, stress response to the brain. Taking out a deep breath in through the nose, the nose or the mouth. And as you lift back up onto the hands for those who are lower, walk your left foot in a little bit closer. Keeping the hands to the inside of the right foot, tucking your left toes, press back through the heel, lifting the knee from the ground. Swing your left heel in, back foot down. Start to turn your body once again to the left side. And readjust the position of the feet so that your right knee is bending and the toes are pointing forwards. If you're warm in the hips, warm enough in the body to come down into Skandasana, then rotate open your left hip, pointing your toes up to the ceiling and using your right arm, okay, blocking the knee from collapsing. So press your right arm into the inner right thigh, using your fingers to press down and lengthen that through the spine, or connect your palms together. Okay, remember that this is the next step, this is the next level. So if it's enough for you, depending on what's going on in your knees and depending on what's happening in your hips this morning, then you can also choose this position where the knee is at a 90-degree angle bend and the left leg is fully extended, pressing down into the outer edge of the foot to activate and lift up through that left leg. Don't worry if that right heel is lifted as well. This is another option, another variation, which you can also place a block underneath that right knee. Okay, so if you have a tight calf muscle, or your Achilles is shortened and tight, then that's another option, another modification that you can take. And as you press down into the right foot, okay, those who have the toes lifted, press down into the sole and slowly returning back into your wide-legged forward fold. Breathing in, lifting up onto the fingertips, lengthen through the spine. And exhale as you fold, hinging from your hips, and really use the hands, the fingers or the palms on the ground, pressing down. So that active force pressing to the ground guides the body a little bit further forwards and down. And again, gently rock your hips from one side to the other. If you feel that your hips are blocked, then you can bend the knee. Okay, and just using the bend of the knee just to help loosen up this tension in the joints. Inhale, lifting up back to the center. Turn your body towards the left side. So all 10 toes pointing now towards the left side of the mat. Bend the left knee 90-degree angle as you press back through the heel, come into your low lunge position or low lunge position if you need to lower the right knee to the ground. Keeping the right fingertips or the right palm pressing as you lift the left arm up towards the ceiling or the sky. Opening the palm of the left hand, spread the fingers. As you press into the palm of the right hand, grow a little bit taller, lengthen across through the heart center. Bend that left knee forward, extend and press back through the heel, keeping that right quadricep active and lifting. Good. Keeping the breath slow and steady. Controlling the rhythm of the heartbeat by keeping that steadiness in your breathing. And as you slowly lower your left hand down towards the inside of the left foot, lower the right knee to the ground, pointing your left toes now at a diagonal, or roll onto the side of the foot, so opening up that left hip. Slide the right leg further back, walking your hands back if you would like to open up a little bit more, increasing the sensations in the pelvis. Okay, again, if you have the mobility in your pelvis and you'd like to come lower, come down onto the forearms. And gently rocking from side to side. This is a slow and gentle movement. A movement to explore, okay, how it feels and where it feels when you shift your body to the right. And observe how it feels when you shift your body and your pelvis to the left. Make sure you're not sinking down into the joints, into the shoulders. So use the grounding connection between your hands and your forearms to create this space up above. When you create this space, you're in control. It allows you to breathe slower, to breathe deeper, again, to soothe the nervous system. Always sending positive signals to the brain. And slowly returning back up. Walk your hands forwards if they're back. Tucking the toes, press back through the heel, lifting the back knee, engaging the right quadricep. Swing your right heel down, pointing all toes towards the longer edge of the mat. So the left knee is bending 90 degrees, and the outer edge of the right foot is pressing to the ground. The right leg is fully extended. For your first variation, option 1, flatten the back as you contract and reawaken the back body. Option 2, rotate open that right hip, pointing your toes up towards ceiling or sky, and slowly lower your sit bones down. And using your left arm, okay, press your arm into the inner thigh, block the possibility of the knee collapsing forwards. Okay, you don't want your hip rotating inwards. This is a very compressing sensation in the hip joint. You want to open it instead, opening it, lengthening through the adductors, the inner thighs. As you connect through the palms, start to grow and start to lift. So either using your hands to support you or your hands press down to lift you. You can even connect the palms and they have the same effect. As you press the palms together, lift and lengthen up through the crown. Keep the shoulders back and the heart opening. The breath is steady. And remember, if this is a little bit too much, taking it down, then come into your original position where the left knee was bent in a 90-degree angle and the sole of your right foot on the ground. And as you release the hands, press down into the sole of the left foot, pivot on the right heel, point your toes forwards, and gently rock your hips from side to side. Or bending the knees is an option. Okay. And as you lift up onto the fingertips, lift your chest a little bit higher. And if you need, if you have a block or a prop underneath you, you can lift up higher still. Okay, so that the back is flat. Lifting the right arm and come into a spinal twist. As you lift the right arm, okay, think about the right shoulder rolling back. So it's not just spinal twist, but also shoulder rotation as the shoulder rolls back. The extension through your arms to press through your left fingertips or your left palm. The strength and the support from your core. The strength and the support from your obliques. Okay. As you press down a little bit more, reach up a little bit higher, using your inhalation to extend and to lift, and using your exhalation as you contract the belly to rotate and to focus on that movement of the shoulder. Okay, so keep it simple in your spinal twist, left arm down, right arm up. If you're looking to advance from here, you can bring the left hand across towards your right foot. Okay, maybe either just walking the hand across closer to the foot, or wrap the hand around the foot or ankle and continue to lift and extend and twist in the same way. Using the left hand, okay, and the right foot or leg, that resistance with that tension between one another allows you to lift and extend up and to twist a little bit further. Okay, if you're in this position, okay, with the left hand on the right foot or leg, then you can extend and reach your right arm up and over, looking underneath your right arm. So be careful not to drop the arm in front of the face. And you're extending the fingertips forwards and maybe even walking your fingertips closer to the left toes, looking for more rotation. Okay, so remember that there's 3 different stages. First one, left arm down, right arm up. Second stage, left hand towards the right foot as you twist. And the third stage, the arm extends up over your head. Okay, incorporating stretch in your shoulders, in your upper back, your thoracic, in the lower back and the lumbar. Using the strength and the support of the legs, that grounding and that connection through your feet, and that steadiness of the breath. And then slowly release. So wherever you are, right arm lifts. Release the left arm, left hand down towards the ground in front of the body. And exhale as you release that right arm and shoulder. So neutralize the spine here, bending the knees. Okay, make sure that the knees don't collapse inwards. So you want to press into the outer edges of the feet. Press your knee away from each other. So you're opening up that space in the hip joints. As you send your weight back into your heels, bend the knees as much as possible so that the weight is in your feet only, and extend your arms forwards in front. So you're really lengthening through the vertebra of the spine, and let the head hang down between your arms. So look through and back beyond the legs. You can give the head a little shake here, rocking the head in this lateral movement, side to side, or you can lift it up and down. Or you can also move from side to side, shifting your weight from one foot to the other, moving into the hips. Walking the hands back, straighten and extend the legs. Check in with your feet and make sure that the feet haven't slipped out of alignment. So feet are parallel. Lifting up onto the fingertips using the block or a prop if you have one. Right hand down as you lift and extend the left arm all the way up, coming into your spinal twist. So coming into an active stretch, where as you press your hand to the ground, lift and reach up and out through your fingers. Roll that left shoulder back, expand and open the chest. Think of externally rotating that left shoulder. So just the movement of the shoulder can change the dynamic of this particular pose. So say in stage 1, unless you'd like to advance a little bit more, bring your right hand closer towards the left foot, or maybe on the foot or the leg. The body slowly lowers as the pelvis tilts forward. Lift and extend and continue to focus on that external rotation of the shoulder as you draw your shoulder blade towards the spine, opening more across the front of the chest. This is step 2. Coming into your third step, extending through your left arm, reaching your left arm up and over your head until the fingertips touch the ground, and maybe walking your fingers further away from the left side and walking the hands closer to the right foot. So eventually the body is completely crisscrossed, holding on to opposite feet. But for now, I'll just stay here. Looking underneath the left arm, turn and twist a little bit more. Use the tension between the right hand and the left foot to rotate. So using this connection as a lever to rotate a little bit deeper. Deep breaths, inhale through the nose with a little smile on your face helps, and exhale through the nose or through the mouth to release and to relieve any tension in the body. Let's take another deep breath. And as you inhale, release the left arm. You're lifting the head, lifting the chest, release the right from the foot. And eventually release that left hand down to the ground. So bring your heels in, toes out, bending the knees and come back into your goddess. But this time with your elbows, your arms on top of the thighs. Use your arms, press the knees out and back. Maybe spread the fingers wide so you have a open kind of feeling, sensation throughout the body. Open in the chest, open in the hands, so you're not making a fist or gripping with the hands. Nice and open. Shoulders back, open chest. You can hold it or gently rock from side to side. So using your arms is encouraging the knees to stay aligned with your ankles. Okay, avoiding any collapsing of the knees and also avoiding collapsing of the foot. So you want a slight lift of the arch. That's it. And as you release the hands, lift the hips, straighten, extend the legs. Maybe another little rock of the hips. And let's take it around to the right side. So come back into your lunge position. Okay, if you're quite short in the position, then step the left foot further back. So you're looking for length and extension through that left leg and the right knee over the ankle. And then lower that left knee to the ground. Untuck the toes, lift up onto the fingertips, roll the shoulders back. Okay, so different options here. You can stay here with your fingers down, just working on that length through the hip flexors, opening up the chest. Option 1. Option 2, hands on thigh, lifting the chest, perhaps gently press your torso back, creating that back bend curve. Okay, naturally we tend to sit into the lumbar spine, okay, but focus on the spine as a whole. So think of the back bend coming from the hip flexors first, from the pelvic area, moving forwards and down. The lumbar spine we know, but then think about the thoracic spine. Think about the thoracic spine arching. Think of the shoulder blades drawing in so that the heart begins to open and lift. So this is your second option. Just focus on this movement of the shoulders and the upper body and lifting our heart straight up. Third option, arms up and back. Okay, if it's a little bit too heavy on the lumbar spine, then take it forwards. Okay, so that as you move forwards, you're lengthening the lumbar spine and you're still working that mobility and that curve in your thoracic. If you're comfortable with this and would like to continue to the next step and reach your hands back, maybe patting the left knee, either rolling the side of the mat quickly so that the left knee doesn't complain in any way. And then you can grab hold of the foot with both hands. Okay, also looking for shoulder mobility here. Okay, you might find that you need to pull your hips back a little bit in order to grab hold of the foot. But once you're there, bend that knee forwards and down, lower the hips, roll the shoulders back, and lift your chest up, just like you did in your low lunge position. Again, if it's a little heavy on the lumbar spine and you just want to focus on the stretch through your quads, okay, then you can lean forwards instead. Lean forwards to come out, releasing the hands by the side of the foot. Tucking the left toes under, lifting the knee, and hop your left foot about 1 foot in front. And press down through the left heel. You don't want it too narrow, so it's not here. Okay, you want an equilateral triangle. So roughly, the distance from your feet are roughly the length of your legs. Okay, so looking forwards, okay, if you find that it's a little struggle to get the hands down, bend the knee slightly. Use the props if you have, or lift your hands up a little bit higher and along the leg. Flatten the back as you roll the shoulders, breathing in, anchoring down through the back foot, the heel pressing to the ground. And exhale as you slowly fold, tucking your chin into the chest, let the head hang low. And again, breathing in, activate the back body, press down through the feet, strong, active legs as you lift the gaze and look forwards. Exhale, hinging from your hips. Use the strength also of your core to guide your body a little bit closer to that right leg. Tuck your chin to the chest. Breathing in, looking forwards, press down through the right foot, lifting the gaze. And exhale as you fold. And we're going to stay here for 3 deep breaths. Keep soft in the shoulders. Take a breath. Inhale. Think about lengthening, extending through the crown. And exhale, press down through the feet, active legs. Use the strength support of your belly as you fold. Breathing in, think of length. So on a more subtle level, keeping the body folding forwards. Really visualize what's happening in the body, what's happening in the spine every time you breathe. Taking another deep breath, inhale. And exhale as you fold. Inhale as you lift the head, lift the chest, bend that right knee as you come out of your stretch. Even if the feet are a little closer than they would normally be, keep them where they are so you can press down through the left heel and lift your right leg up and back into your 3-legged dog. Opening up that right hip, extending the leg all the way up. Extend through your arms. Breathing in, lifting the leg. And breathing out, set yourself for your pigeon pose. So bring the right knee towards the right hand. So your knee is moving across in a diagonal direction towards the top right corner of the mat. Bending the knee and your toes are pointing to the left side of the mat. And then slide the left leg back, keeping your hip bones in line. You can even look down towards both hip bones. Make sure that you're not twisting and turning your body to the left. Even if your hips are still lifted, that's okay as well. You can place a cushion, a prop underneath you if you need the support. It's a little uncomfortable when you're upright here, but when you come to fold, it's a little bit more comfortable when you're on your arms. So if you're a little bit lifted, just ensure that both hip bones are in line with each other. And then eventually walk your hands forwards and lower down into the forearms. Here you can make any adjustments. If you feel it's a little heavy, you can place the prop underneath the thigh, the right thigh, or the glute. Make sure that your top of the left hip and thigh is rolling forwards and down, so face down. Okay, and focus on lengthening. Okay, so Think about the toes, left toes extending further back, further away, in which you can always make the adjustment and wiggle them back. And you want to think about the crown of the head and the spine extending even further forward and in the opposite direction. And the pelvis in the center is gently moving down. So you're using a little bit of action through your back leg. Your left foot, as it presses down, engages the thigh. And you'll notice as you do that, that left hip lowers slightly and will increase the sensations in the right hip, in the right glute. Either stay here on your forearms or extend your arms in front or make a little pillow with your arms. Keep soft and relaxed in the shoulders and in the neck. And it helps to close your eyes so that you're fully aware of the sensations that you experience in your body, so that you're fully aware of the breathing. So sometimes when we go on day-to-day activities, we forget to breathe, and the breathing is automatic. So in yoga, we really want to control the breathing. So we are practicing breath control, pranayama. It's a little different, or a lot different, than that automatic breath. Okay, so slower, fuller, and deeper. Inhalations, feeling the rib cage expanding, those intercostal muscles contracting to accommodate that space for your lungs to expand even fuller, and allow a little lift of the torso to create this space. And as you exhale, feel that deflation. Feel that deflation, feel that release as you rest down to the ground. So it's a continuous cycle of breathing. So if pigeon pose is already a challenge for you and you're just working through it as you are, then stay where you are. Or you can take variations. Okay, I'm going to leave this one up to you. I'm going to show you the variations and you can choose which one to go for. The first one, you can walk your hands to the left side, keeping that right sit bone moving down to the ground. So it's just your torso, your upper body, that is twisting around to the left side. So a little bit more extension through the right side of the body, and you're contracting the left side of the body to bring you over. This is your first option. Second option, you can bend that left knee, holding onto the foot with the left hand and maybe both hands if this is a possibility. And the third variation, you can walk your left elbow across. So left elbow in front of the right knee as you connect the palms of the hands together and come into a spinal twist. Lowering the left shoulder to the ground eventually. You press through the palms of the hands, think of the external rotation through that right arm and shoulder. And lifting the head up, lifting the chest up, keeping the neck in line with the rest of the spine. Or maybe using a block if you like to rest it on the block. Okay, so 3 different variations. You might like to work through all 3 of them, or just one of them in particular if it's feeling good for your body, or just hang out here in your pigeon pose. So coming up to 3 more deep breaths, choosing where you feel you need to be. And as you lift the head and the chest, slowly prepare for your release. Walking your hands back, lifting your torso up, leaning over to the right side. Okay, and use your left hand to help with this left leg. Take it around. crossing the left ankle either in front of the right knee or on top of the knee, coming into your double pigeon pose. It doesn't matter which variation you go for, as long as your left sit bone is down, even if the left knee is lifting way up. Okay, make sure that the base is in the alignment that it needs to be. Okay, so that the spine is also perfectly aligned and stacked, stacking the vertebrae of the spine one above the other. And if you're looking down from this bird's eye view, you want to see that your right ankle is directly beneath the left knee, and that your left ankle is directly above the right knee or in front of the knee, and the shins are more or less crossed. Pressing down into the fingertips, roll the shoulders back, open the chest. Okay, so press down even more until you almost feel like your sit bones are floating away from your mat. And as you exhale, hinging from your hips, continue to press into the fingertips. Keep the shoulders back, so you don't want to come into this rounded position on your way forward, but more so a flat position that indicates that the movement is coming from your pelvis. Hold it here, or rest your arms on the thighs. Especially if this left knee is lifting, you might want to just add a little bit of pressure down using that left arm to open up this left hip, or come forwards all the way onto the forearms, or extend your arms in front. As you lift the head on the chest, walking your hands all the way back. In reverse, lean over to your right side, swing the left leg all the way back and around. Extending that left leg, roll the hip forward. You can even slide the right foot down a little bit closer, so you decrease the angle of the knee. It makes it a little bit easier as you come out. Roll the hip forward, press down into the hands, tug the left toes, and you can either slide back onto the hands and knees first, or slide straight up and back into downward dog, or even maybe lifting the right leg up if you feel happy to do this at this moment when the hips are releasing out of the hip opening pose. So your own movement, you'd like to pedal the feet, maybe a little twist as you swing the heels side to side. Remember that these are just ideas, so whatever is more appropriate for you and your body. If it's none of the above, then this is your practice to personalize. So your own movements are always welcome. Okay, and either coming from the hands and the knees or from downward dog, float the right leg up once again, breathing in and breathing out. Tuck your chin to the chest, knee to the nose, and stepping the foot forward. Doesn't have to be quite all the way to the front. And then pivot on the ball of the left foot, pivot on the right heel, and come back into parallel legs. Hold it here. You're going to point your toes out. Then pivot on the ball of the foot, swing your heels out. Toes out, wider. Heels out, wider. Stay on the outer edges of the feet, press into the soles, and you're going to take it as wide as possible without collapsing the knees. Okay, the moment the knees collapse, this is not good news for your knees, and it's not good news for your hips. So keep the legs engaged and active, and open up from your hip joints. Take it as far as you feel comfortable. Some of you might want to also lower all the way down onto the forearms. Maybe just keep the hands where they are. Let the neck lengthen. You might feel that you're sliding your feet beyond the edges of the mat. As long as the quadriceps are active and engaged, that's okay as well. And as long as the sole of the feet are pressing to the ground. Stay here with your breath. And then heels turn in, press into the forearms or hands, toes turn in, heels until you feel you're back into a comfortable position with the legs still apart. As you walk your hands around to the left side, okay, lower the right knee down to the ground. Once the left knee is at that 90-degree angle bend, untuck the toes and hold it here for your low lunge. Press the top of the foot down, lower the hip bones forwards, lifting up onto the fingertips as you open your chest. Okay, you're either here for quite a long time in your lunge position, lengthening the hip flexors. Okay, or lifting higher up onto the thigh. Okay, start to incorporate the back bend. Okay, but thinking of the spine as a whole. Okay, thinking of the spine beyond the lumbar spine. Okay, sorry, the back bend. Think of the back bend beyond just that movement of the lumbar, and think of it as mobility in your hip flexors, mobility in your thoracic spine, and in your shoulders. Okay, shoulders are rolling back. If you feel comfortable with this, then you can extend the arms up and back, maybe lifting the gaze, but without collapsing or throwing the neck back. Deep breaths. Think about lifting up and away from compression. The body likes to compress the lumbar spine, which is why there's a lot of lower back complaints. Okay, we want to think beyond that. Okay, we want to reduce the possibility of pain and compression in the joints. So lifting up as you breathe in, think about lifting the rib cage, extend up through your arms, up and out, and then breathing out, think about the movement of the pelvis, lengthening the hip flexors. So we keep the lumbar spine always supported, also by contracting that Uddiyana Bandha, keeping that energy lock. Okay, keeping the abdominals strong. Hold it here for those who wish to. Bend the right knee, grab hold of the foot with one or both hands. Pad that right knee if you need to. You can quickly fold the edge of the mat in. Even if your hips move back a little bit in order to grab hold of the foot, once you're there, continue to bend that left knee and take it down. What tends to happen is the body rolls forwards and the shoulders collapse forwards as well. Think of shoulder mobility here. Shoulders roll back as the chest lifts and opens. So wherever you are, one more breath. Allow the body to lean forward, slowly releasing the stretch. Release the hands, tuck the right toes. Lifting the knee, lifting the hips up. Okay, now you're wide. You're gonna bring the right foot in a little bit. Okay, so about a foot in front. Measure the length of your own leg. That's the distance from your left heel to the right toes. Anchoring down through the right heel, lengthening through the back leg. Align the hip bones as you lift up onto the fingertips. Okay, if your hands aren't reaching, a little bend of the knee is an option, or props, or hands up on your shin. Inhale to lengthen, once again, and exhale to fold, forwards and down. Use the abdominals to support and stretch to lengthen the back. Let the head hang down, shoulders relax. Breathing in, press down into the soles of your feet. Lift to lengthen, shoulders back, and exhale to fold. Head down, tuck your chin. One more, breathing in, lifting, and breathing out. Now on a more subtle level, keep the legs as they are. Use the inhalation to lengthen, keeping the head down, lengthen the crown of the head to the left toes. And then breathing out, soften the elbows, shoulders, and hug your body in closer to that left thigh. Pressing the back of the right thigh away from the body. Breathing in to lengthen. And breathing out to fold. Inhale. And exhale, last one. Inhale, lifting the head up, the chest up, bend the knee. Keep the stance a little bit shorter so that you can press down and anchor through that right heel, press through the hands as you slide the left leg back and all the way up. Rotate, open that left hip, extend through the arms. So coming into a short three-legged dog position. Let the head hang down. You can rock the head side to side, forwards and back. Good. And as you prepare for pigeon pose, bending the knee, bring the knee forwards towards the top left corner of the mat, towards your left hand, just behind the back of the hand. And the left foot is now pointing towards the right side of the mat. So the angle of the knee is up to you to choose. As you slide that right leg, lengthen and extend, and open up into the pelvic area. Lengthen through the hip flexor. Make any adjustments that you need to. If you're a little bit higher up and elevated here, remember to place the prop underneath the back of the left thigh or the glute, your seat. Have a little check, make sure your hip bones are in line with one another and that you're not twisting your body to the right side. So you want to make sure that the top of the foot and the top of the thigh are face down. The further back you extend the leg, the greater the angle of the knee, the more intense this will be on your glutes. Breathing in as you lift to lengthen, unless you're already there, and then coming down onto the forearms. Okay, so once you come down, make sure that you're not collapsing into the shoulders. Okay, you don't want to sink down into the joints. So press into the forearms and open the chest. For your first variation, make a little pillow with your hands. Make sure your elbows are out nice and wide so that you create the space across the shoulder blades, or extend your arms in front. So whilst that left hip is stretching, keep it relaxed, keep it resistance free, and press the top of your right foot down to the ground just a little bit. Okay, see how that changes the dynamic of the pose. Might increase the sensations in your left hip. Okay, and keep it slightly active. Okay, so keep the support through the back leg. And once you've established where you need to be with the physical body, where everything is placed, then tune in to your breathing, your pranayama, controlling the way in which the energy flows into the body and controlling the way in which the energy flows out. Notice if there's any tension in the face, in the jaw, in the hands. Come back to that left hip. Notice if there's resistance or tension against what you're feeling. Sometimes you might need to just come out of it altogether and just shake it out, then come back into it. Always with positive intentions for this particular pose. Keep the positive intention for your practice. And as we stay here a little longer, you have those three options. You can either, four options actually. There's this one option, which is to stay here. The second option is to take the hands around to the right side, making sure that that left sit bone stays grounding down, moving down towards the floor. The second option, bending that right knee, grabbing hold of the foot with one or both hands. The third variation, fourth option, right elbow across to the left side, palms together to twist. As you lower the right shoulder eventually to the ground without allowing the left sit bone to lift from the ground or from your prop or whatever you're using. You don't want to drop that right hip any lower than your left, always keeping the alignment of the hip bones. Whether you're adjusting or modifying, you don't want to over twist. You don't want to drop one pelvis more than the other. And then wherever you are, returning back to your center alignment. Lifting your torso, walking your hands back towards the left leg. Allow your body to shift, to lean all the way over to the left side, freeing the right leg, and you can use your right hand to assist. Crossing the right ankle up above the left knee or right ankle in front of the knee. Ensuring that the right sit bone is down. Okay, from the bird's eye view, you want to make sure that the ankles and knees are in alignment with each other and the shins are crisscross on top of each other. Unless the foot is in front, then it's obviously not so directly on top. Okay, press down into the fingertips as you roll the shoulders back, puff and open the chest. Breathing in, lift to lengthen, walk your hands forwards, hinging from the hips. Notice what the shoulders want to do. They want to collapse, the head wants to collapse, the back wants to be rounded. Okay, try to keep that upright position, that the length through the front body, the opening in the chest, and feel the shoulder blades draw in together as you fold forwards and down to wherever you can do. And then eventually either resting your arms on the top of the legs or your arms forwards in front to encourage more lengthening, more extension. So looking for nice healthy spines, okay, when we work on this extension. Okay, imagine or visualize, if you want your eyes closed, imagine that when you're reaching your arms forwards, you're giving the vertebra a little bit more space between one another. So you're reducing any possibility of compression, reducing that degeneration that happens in the spine. Okay, so you want longevity of the spine, keeping it healthy, keeping it supple, breathing into that space, deliver the positive oxygen and energy to the joints as you fold forwards and down. Let's take one more powerful and energizing breath. In through the nose, out through the nose or mouth. And as you walk your hands slowly back. Once again, take yourself over to the left side. Swing the right leg around towards the back end of the mat. Decrease the angle of the left knee, this helps. As you place the hands forwards, hands shoulder width apart. And you can either stay on the knees to release the left leg back, or press up and back into down dog, or lift and extend the left leg up, releasing it. Remember, this is when you personalize your practice with your own flow, with your own movements, according to what it is that your body feels it may need. Good. And then slowly walking your feet forwards towards your hands, the back of the hands. Separate your feet a little wider than hip width, but not quite as much as the mat. Bending the knees and lower your seat down into your squat position. Maybe this might be halfway, bending the knees at a 90-degree angle. You might want to slip a prop underneath to elevate or to support the heel, shall I say, if the Achilles and the calves muscles are shortened. And then slowly make your way down into the squat. Adapting and modifying as you feel you need, either keep the hands on the ground or connect your palms together as you gently press your arms into the inner thighs, lifting your spine up. And using the hands behind if you need that extra support. And slowly come down to sit. Bring the knees in together, slowly roll onto your back. Hugging your knees towards your chest and gently massage up and down along the spine or side to side. And to finish with your spinal twist. So let's keep the knees together, taking the knees over to the right side. So you're rolling onto the outer right hip, using your right hand to help guide the knees down. Turn the head out to the left side, reach and extend your left arm further away. So allow this left shoulder blade to lift off the floor for a moment. As you reach out through the left arm, so think about lengthening even more through the left side. And then press the left shoulder blade to the ground once you're there. Relax the legs, relax the back, relax the lower belly. You can either keep the knees bending or extend the left leg, lifting the foot a little bit higher up so that the right hand can wrap around the outer edge of the foot. And then flex the foot so the heel is extending away from the body, creating this lovely discomfort through the back of the leg. That discomfort is releasing any kind of blockage that may have accumulated in that left glute or the left hamstring. So if you were to look over to the right side, if the left leg is extended, the foot will be on the same level as your eye line. The arms, the hands are also on the same level as your eye line, in line with your shoulders. You can turn the head to the left. You can turn your head to the right. And feel all these different sensations that you may encounter. Keep the shoulders down towards the ground and down away from your ears. So you're looking for your freedom and space in your neck. As you release slowly, those who have extended the leg, bend the knee, and slowly come back to your center. Realigning, make these little adjustments so that the spine is once again nice and straight. As you roll onto the outer left hip, using your left hand to guide the knees down. Reach out through your right fingertips. So allow that right shoulder blade to lift for a moment as you reach and extend further away. So imagine that you're really trying to grab hold of something. You're lengthening, extending through the right shoulder joints. Place the palm of the hand on the ground and then press that right shoulder blade down. Either hold it here, both knees bending, or extending the right leg, wrapping the left hand around the outer edge of the foot. Okay, flexing the ankle so that the heel is extending away. And use your left hand to guide the foot down. The hands, the fingers, the foot in your eye line. The right shoulder down. Deep, slow breath. And maybe gently turn the head from one side to the other. Good, as you slowly release, bending the right knee. And release the spine. Offer the spine a little massage. Maybe give the body a little bit of a hug, either Wrap the arms around the upper body or wrap the arms around your knees. And as you release your arms, either up above, by your side, or resting the hands on your belly, slowly extend the legs and come to rest for a very short Shavasana. Closing the eyes, steady the breath, and be present in this moment. Personal growth. I am an amazing human being living an incredibly blessed life. I am worthy of all things wonderful. I grow and learn each day. I let go of regrets from the past as they hold me there and prevent me from experiencing the now. I may have experienced true heartache in my lifetime, but through that time I have discovered deep compassion. I do not feel the need to compete against anyone or be better than anybody else. I aspire only to be a person that I was yesterday. I am grateful that I am given each new day to grow, learn, and love.